Hello there, Lynx here, and welcome to more of Katawa Shoujo. Well, we are starting maybe not really on a positive aspect given that we are with the nurse, but let's see what this is about exactly. Maybe it won't be so bad.
You haven't been forgetting to take your medicine, have you? I'm catching a little murmur. You should take it easy for a few days.
The nurse's words hurt me far more than the exhaustion of the morning run ever could. Take it easy for a few days. I knew I should have kept quiet. I keep my eyes on the floor, feeling like a complete idiot. Of course, I hadn't been remembering to take my medicine. I've been rushing out of my room to get to the track before Emmy. After a track meet a few days ago, I felt inspired. So I've been running warm-up laps in the morning before Emmy shows up. But then today, while she and I were running, I felt a little pain in my chest. This guy. Oh my goodness. It was only slight. And it was only for a second, so I mentioned it to the nurse. Honestly, it wasn't that bad. I mean, I kept running, finished just fine, so really, it couldn't have been that bad. Why do I feel like making excuses to the nurse? Moreover, why do I feel a need to justify continuing to run despite the pain? Really, it comes down to my well-being. To my being unwilling to concern Emmy, who seemed so concerned anyway. I'm not sure how she was able to tell there was anything wrong, but she claims I stumbled a little. She's the one who insisted I tell the nurse, so now I feel bad for worrying her at all. The nurse is shaking his head ruefully while Emmy paces outside the room.
Hisao, I know it's difficult for you to get into a new routine. But if you don't want to find yourself in a lot of trouble, you're going to have to try harder. You can't afford to forget your pills, and you can't push yourself too hard.
But if I don't push myself, how will I improve? I don't know where that came from. The nurse seems to have an idea.
Now where have I heard that before?
He laughs and pats me on the shoulder.
Huh. She's rubbing off on you, I guess.
His expression changes again and he's back in a serious mode.
Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't push yourself. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be taking your medication, and doesn't mean you shouldn't stop if your chest starts to bother you. I'd prefer not to have any fatalities while I'm on staff here. A bit of the lofty goal, to be sure, but I'm always up for a challenge.
I hate to admit it, but I think he's right. I've got to remember to take my medication. You're right. I'm sorry to worry you.
Who's worried? You're a smart kid, right? I know you can be responsible, Hisao. A situation like yours, you've got to learn to be responsible fast.
I know. His expression suddenly becomes devious.
I suppose you've started to enjoy your rounds with Emmy then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, they've been helping me. I mean, until today I was feeling a lot more healthy. Plus, it's really impressive to see Emmy run. Did you see her at the track meet?
She was incredible.
The nurse nods, grinning all the while.
That she was, Hisao. I watched her first couple of races before I had some business to take care of, but she told me all about it. Kind of you to loan her your jacket, by the way.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. I had honestly forgotten all about that. I still haven't gotten it back. The nurse gets a smile that makes feel like he's just made a joke.
Not you, but Emmy certainly appreciated it. Oh, and I know how she appreciates your running with her in the mornings.
This one catches me off guard though. Sure, she mentioned that it's easier to keep the schedule with an extra person, but I didn't think that I was doing her a favor at all. But I thought she was doing me a favor of helping me follow the doctor's orders.
She tries harder when you're around. If there is someone else running with her, she's going to push herself more. And she tries even harder when you're around because, well, it's you.
What the heck does it mean?
You'd love to know, wouldn't you?
He laughs in the style of an evil megalomaniacs.
No, seriously, it's because you're her friend. If we ran around with her, I'm sure she'd do the same. Well, probably. But that's not the point. The point is you're helping her even if you don't know you are. And she's grateful for that, even if she never says it.
What do you mean, even if she never says it?
Amy doesn't talk a lot, but she and I have known each other long enough that I can read her most of the time.
I'll admit, I have no idea what he's talking about. Amy always seems pretty talkative to me. I see. The nurse suddenly realized that he's been rambling and stops talking, looking a little embarrassed.
Anyway, you don't have to stop your morning exercise. Just walk the track instead of running for a few days. Let things calm down. And take your damn medicine!
I laugh as I exit the office, bumping straight into Amy. Whoops, sorry about that.
Are you okay? What did the nurse say? Do you need to go to the hospital? Oh my gosh, it was my fault, wasn't it? I've been pushing you too hard, haven't I? I'm a horrible person!
The words pour forth like a torrent. She's really agitated. I didn't expect her to be this concerned about me, to be honest. Gotta calm her down, but how the hell do I do that? I do the only thing I can think of. I give her a hug. Amy tenses up slightly, so I pat her head in a what I hope is a reassuring manner. Hey, settle down. I'm fine, okay? No worries. I can feel Amy's body relax as I continue to assure her I'm fine. Her arms wrap around me, as if she's trying to confirm that I'm not about to fall over dead. I catch a whiff of her hair. It smells like sweet. Like sweet. Like sweet sweat. Or how adrenaline should smell. It's the scent of activity. And a hint of strawberries. From her shampoo, I suspect. I just need to remember to take my medicine, that's all. Don't worry about it, it's not your fault.
You're sure?
Her voice is muffled, mostly because at the moment her face is pressed into my chest. Yeah, I'm sure. I just need to take it a little easy for the next few days. It suddenly occurs to me how close the two of us are. It also occurs to me how nice being this close feels. I can feel Amy's heartbeat calming down. And I have to resist the urge to rest my chin on the top of her head.
Thank goodness. You really had me worried there, Hisao.
Amy, you going to come in here anytime soon? Oh, I'm sorry. Was I interrupting?
The two of us spring apart as if the other just caught on fire. Amy brushes her hair back nervously and laughs.
Of course not. I'll see you later, okay? Oh, Hisao. Take your damn medicine!
This last phrase is punctuated by a punch to the shoulder.
Yeah, I'll remember.
See you later. The nurse smiles again, like he's in on some joke I don't know about, and waves to me as I head for my room, feeling a burning in my cheeks. I need a shower. A cold one! If the thoughts running through my head are any indication. Okay. She was really soft. My pills are waiting for you when I make it to my room. I swallowed them without a second thought. I don't know why I didn't think of waiting until after the rounds to take them. For some reason I figured it was when I woke up, or not at all. I can't believe this guy. But no, they only need to be taken every 24 hours. The exact time of day doesn't factor into it. Wow. My thoughts drift back to the hack in the hallway. It's weird, you'd expect someone to smell fall after a run, but for some reason Emmy smelled right. The tinge of sweat just seemed to fit her. I don't need that shower! Oh boy. He's all developing new fetishes right now. I mean, I don't blame him. Strange that it feels so natural for me to go up to the roof these days. I never have done such a thing at my old school. In those days I liked to eat alone. No, that's not quite true. I like to sit alone. I also like to watch people. I always figured that was the sort of person I was, but it appears I was wrong. Then again, I also thought I was the sort of person who had a normal heart, so there you have it. I don't know myself that well. Now I'm on the roof so that I can have lunch with a couple of people. And they are both girls, which is even stranger. Oddly enough, I feel closer to Emmy and Rin than I felt to anyone at my old school. Somehow I get the feeling that they'd live with me if I wound up in the hospital. I focus on the view from the roof, banishing such thoughts from my head. There is a light breeze blowing and the sun is shining high in the sky. The sky itself is a deep blue with hardly a cloud in it. It's gotten pleasantly warm, and as I sit down to wait for my friends, I close my eyes and enjoy the feeling of the sun seeping into my skin. Voices intrude upon the edge of hearing.
Seems to have fallen asleep on us, Rin. Maybe he's faking to lure us into a false sense of security. Why'd you do that? No idea. Still, you make a good point. We should kick him or something to make sure he's really asleep.
Huh? What? What? Emmy looms over me like only a short girl can, peering at me intently.
Oh, you're awake. I guess we don't have to kick you then. Was it part of your master plan?
What are you talking about? Emmy shrugs, her twin tails bouncing with the motion.
I'm not sure either. You must be pretty tired to fall asleep out here. Although it's pretty comfortable, I suppose.
She plops down next to me and begins to eat. Rin sits opposite from the two of us, a move which only makes me more aware of the girl sitting next to me. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear Rin did it on purpose. I concentrate on my food, trying to tune out the majority of the conversation that Rin and Emmy are having. Despite my best efforts, however, I still find myself glancing over at Emmy whenever she speaks. I notice how she purses her lips when she's thinking about something, squinting slightly as if that would improve her thinking ability. Rin says something that makes Emmy laugh, and I notice perhaps for the first time how she laughs with her whole body, rocking back and forth, head thrown back, almost like she's about to fall over. I probably look like a creep. It's about this time that I realize Emmy's looking at me. Her voice raised slightly, so she's probably just asked me a question. Sorry? I kinda zoned out for a moment there. Emmy rolls her eyes, while a slight quirk of the eyebrow is the only sign that Rin's even paying attention.
I said, did you get a career serve in your class too? You know, one of those, what do you want to do after high school things.
I don't think so. Maybe we'll get one tomorrow.
What are you going to put down?
That's a really good question. I guess I always figured I'd go to college after high school, but I have no idea what I'd do once I got there. And with the heart attack and all, I'd really been concentrating on each day as it came rather than making long-term plans. I suppose I can safely start planning ahead again. I've always liked having at least a vague plan for my future, so it will be nice to come up with one again. Of course, that doesn't change the fact that right now I got absolutely no clue. I always kind of assumed I figured it out in college. That or just become a salaryman. That's pretty popular. But do I really want to? That's a tough question. I guess I don't really want to do anything.
You don't sound very excited about that one, do you?
She laughs as she says this, and I'm caught up in her laugh again. It's so girlish, high and giggly, like a, well, pardon the cliché, like a bubbling brook. It bubbles out of her, starting her belly and working its way up her throat. I can't help but laugh myself. It's infectious. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty unhappy with this alarming idea. But to be honest, I haven't given much thought to the future recently. I suppose that these days I've been more concerned with living one day at a time. Amy considers this for a moment and grins.
That's pretty good idea, Hisao. I just wrote down pirate.
I'm momentarily stunned and then I start laughing. I stop myself and manage to gasp out a question. You're not actually serious, are you? Amy looks mock offended.
Well, I've got the legs for it already, so I just kind of figure.
Even Rin seems amused by this.
Just you wait, I'll be the terror of the high seas. I'll show you all. I've even been working on my parrot voice.
Huh? No, please no. She suddenly springs up and begins swaggering up and down the rooftop shouting orders.
Yar, behartis give you broadside with little girls. Will wear their guts forgot us.
Do you even know what that means? Rin's unexpected interruption stops Amy in her tracks.
Not really. But it's all in the delivery.
The ringing of the bell prevents her from demonstrating her point further. Amy dashes off, immediately leaving Rin and myself alone on the roof. Rin stares at me intently for a few moments. Is there something wrong? Rin considers this question closely for a moment. After a lengthy pause, she shakes her head. Nope. Oh, why the staring then? Rin shakes her head again. Nope. I don't get it. Get what? The staring thing. You two seem to, but I don't. Great, she saw me staring. Now she probably thinks I'm a pervert or something. Actually, probably not. This is Rin we're talking about after all. Still, I feel the need to defend myself. I wasn't staring. I was just tired. Rin actually snorts at this, but she doesn't say anything. Pfft. No, really, I was just distracted, is all. Eager to end this conversation, I head back down to the class. Oh no. Oh no. No. Let's go somewhere else. Let's skip class. I'm greeted by the twin specters of Shizune and Misha, looking like they mean business. Well, she's not like she means business anyway. Misha just looks like she's about to start laughing at any minute.
Up on the roof again, Hichan. You know that's dangerous, don't you?
No. Is it for? Is it? Is it? Yeah.
That's right. The school cannot be held responsible for any injury that comes up from being up there, you know. Furthermore, we could report you for breaking the rules.
Misha leans in and whispers conspirationally.
But we won't, Hichan. You three are so cute together.
She straightens up again, laughing at my sudden blush. Ah.
You're too easy to tease, Hichan.
Hey, come on. I'm still new here, sort of. Isn't it mean to pick out a newcomer like this?
Nope. It's to help you get acclimated to your new surroundings.
I see. Well, do you have to be so overzealous about it?
Yep. Ah, that aside, Hichan, we're looking for you this morning, but you weren't in your room.
Of course I wasn't. I was out for my morning exercise or hearing class bright and early. Unlike you. This guy can bite back. Shizune looks peeved, and a bit later so does Misha, or she tries to at any rate.
That was because of the student council business. You should be grateful that we worked so hard for you.
Oh, I am. So, what did you need me for? Not another attempt to rope me to their dirty work, I hope.
We had to give you something, but since you weren't around, we dropped it off in your room.
So, like what?
Oh, you will find out when you get back, Hichan.
I mean, I think I know. Why didn't you do this way in the previous routes then? Muto entering the room ends our conversation and we all head to our seats. It's only after I've settled down my desk and the teacher started talking about something or other than something old strikes me. What did Rin mean you two seem to? I noticed that. She was also staring at you. Was Emi staring at something too? For a brief moment I considered the possibility that Emi was staring at me the way I was staring at her. Of course, that's ridiculous. Still, I can't deny that I wouldn't mind if it were true. But it's best not to think of that. No need to get my hopes up. Come to think of it, when did I start having hopes like that anyway? I shake my head in an attempt to clear it and focus on the lesson. Interesting. After class, I make my way to my room. Muto already piled on the homework today. Before I can open the door, however, I'm suddenly intercepted by Kenji, who has just exploded out of his room in a flurry of papers.
Hey, we need to talk. This rooftop shenanigans of yours, man, they've gotta stop.
What?
You're running around on the rooftop with the limbless wonders. They're woman, man. You'll get yourself killed running around like that.
I don't follow. Kenji sighs and adjusts his glasses before what could be understood as an attempt at explaining himself patiently.
Look, we're friends, so I'm telling you this for your own good. But if I were going to kill someone, I'd do it by throwing them off the roof and making it look like an accident. And if I thought of it, you can be sure they thought of it too. They're crafty, almost as crafty as I am.
I see.
Good. I'm glad we had this chat. Loan me 500 yen.
I'm sorry.
I need to get a drink, man. I've been inside all day and the tap water has been compromised, as I'm sure you know. So I need to stock up on something, can't got it, but to do that I need 500 yen. And since I've just saved your life with my timely advice, you can at least spare me 500 yen?
You know, if you make him go away, it's a bargain. I hand the money over to Kenji, who nods in thanks and dashes off down the hallway, but not before he locks his door. What an exhausting person, I'd better go in case he changes his mind. Huh? As I close the door, my heel taps against something lying on the floor. It's a brightly colored rectangle of paper. Ah, this must be that something Misha mentioned before. Probably a student council leaflet she laid under the door. However, when I picked up, I found that I couldn't have been more wrong. Someone actually wrote me an old-fashioned, handwritten paper letter. Who bothers doing something like that in this day and age anyway? Yet, as unlikely as the prospect of receiving one sounds, this is definitely a letter I have in my hands. I was planning on finishing my homework, getting some dinner, and going to bed in order to be ready for tomorrow morning's run. However, the letter has naturally caught my interest. I sit at my desk to examine it properly. It's the first piece of mail I've received here in Yamaku, so it would feel special even if it was nothing as rare as a handwritten letter. What causes me even more trepidation is the name of the sender, written neatly on the back of the envelope. Iwanako. I have no idea why she would write to me. I haven't been in contact with anyone from my old school since I transferred, and Iwanako is the last person I'd expect to want to write me a letter. The last time I saw her was terribly awkward, embarrassingly so. She came to my hospital room, peeled me an apple out of courtesy, and then practically sat in silence for half an hour. She said, "Goodbye," and didn't look me in the eye even when she closed the door. It might have been a natural end to the series of visits that were probably pretty painful for both of us. Every time she visited me in the hospital, I wanted to talk to her, but something stopped me every single time. Every time that I didn't speak made the next time even harder. She looked so guilty that I didn't want to say anything that might upset her, and I never could figure out the right words to say. I think Iwanako blamed herself for my heart attack. That's ridiculous, of course, but knowing it and believing it are two different things. I told her that it wasn't her fault. She nodded, and I really think she understood that if it hadn't been that, then sooner or later something else would have made my heart give out. Yet she looked so hopelessly sad every time she opened the door and entered my room. So I never managed to say the things I wanted to say. In the end, that might have hurt her even more. Which now makes me wonder, because, I mean, we know in the original game we are playing right now, there is no such a thing, but has anyone created Iwanako's root? Because maybe there is something about that, right? There is a fanfiction, okay? Interesting. Theory time, Iwanako. Interesting. I mean, there is something cool. Fanfiction. I've been working on that and that. Okay, cool. And theory. Yeah, that theory doesn't make any sense at all, mate. Anyway, carefully open the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within.
Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you are well and happy at your new school. Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second year class got put together in class 3-1 for the final year, so we are pretty comfortable right from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third years seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they're so far away. The teachers are badgering us about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is by the way our homeroom teacher this year, would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think we're already seniors, ain't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I kind of understand that statement. I keep wondering if I was like them in the first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester.
Like, you know, I remember this feeling as a, you know, basically senior in high school, actually. At the beginning and the first year arrives and you are, wow, those guys seem super lost here.
There are other things I want to say. I'm writing because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person. I have no excuse for it.
I don't know, maybe I will look like this as well. For I didn't feel like that, as to be honest. I guess thanks mostly to the fact that I knew a lot of people older than me already. I mean, and I'm not talking about knowing them from the previous schools. I mean, I guess 1 class of being in the football team at some point, right? So I knew a crap ton of people thanks to that. Not that I got any close with them. Anyway, yeah, I think I have had quite enough of this. I don't know if I read the last page actually. Have I? I think I haven't.
There are other things I want to say. I'm writing because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it.
Yeah, I think I have had quite enough of this. I crumple up the sheet of paper and toss it across the room. My aim is off, so the letter rolls under my nightstand instead of going to my waste basket. Okay, that's nuts. This is the first route where this happens. Previously he was considering like maybe I should write back and so on. This time he's doing that. Interesting. Anyway, that was an apology for abandoning me, except I don't know that I need it anymore at this point. The hospital seems like a lifetime ago, and here, now, I've got other things on my mind. Emmy, for starters. This is so much different! It wasn't great to be abandoned during my stay, but it's not something I'm worried about anymore. In fact, I hadn't even thought about the hospital in what feels like forever until this letter came in. It's almost annoying to have received it. I've got exams to study for myself. I have no time for the past. Now, about that homework. Well, we'll find out maybe if he managed to finish his homework in the next episode. Also, then again, he threw it and he missed the basket. So, who knows, maybe that letter will still come in back at us in future episodes. But for now, hope you enjoyed, hope to see you tomorrow, and I of course wish you a wonderful day. Bye bye.